keep telling people that you're not playing around, you're not goofing around when you say game playing. Whatever you're doing is related to business analysis. It's not, you're playing a stick and ladders. You're doing games that are related to business analysis. And I found out that having fun while doing it helps, because I'm not going to lie, during my certification exams, some of the questions, I remembered them from my puzzles. I'm like,
welcome to the Inside Business Analysis podcast. I'm your host, Tanner Jacobs, and today I am joined with a special guest, Kafilat. Kafilat, how are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you are here, and I'm really excited for our conversation. I recently came across your article on the IIBA that you called the soft side of business analysis, and how we can kind of incorporate more fun and more enlightenment, that kind of thing, soft side of business analysis in the work that we do. And I thought this will be a really, really good conversation for us to have today. So I'm excited about that. Now, for those who are listening, could you kind of give us a brief introduction into who you are and, how did you get into the business analysis world?
I started my consulting firm in 2017. Well, I didn't start off as a business analyst. I started off with market research, mystery shopping, then marketing communications analyst. Well, I think I was having a discussion with one of my clients, and the person was like, "Are you sure you're not a business analyst?" I'm like, "No, that's not what I do." And I wasn't too sure about what a business then, because I didn't even know about the IBA. So I'm like, okay, let me find out what a business analyst is and look through their website. I'm like, I am a business analyst because I looked at it, and most of the things I've done throughout my career have been about analyzing and recommending solutions. Even as an investment analyst, that was what I was doing. So like, so the part of the job that I've been enjoying is to be a business analyst. So that's what led me to take that role and say, this is my role. I am a business analyst. So I started by joining in 2019. I wanted to start the certification. Yeah, I started a class for CBAP, CBAP certification class. But you know what happened in January 2020? I couldn't go on. So I stalled till, let me start again. Let me start my certification journey again. I started, but this time around, I don't know if it was the confidence, or let me not start with CBAP. Let me start from the lowest qualification. So that's why I went for the ECBA. And it wasn't bad, because that's what led me to discover my love for fun and learning with BA. Yeah. So yeah. That's my journey to business analysis.
Love it. Yeah, no, I love that. And it goes to show that you can certainly do business analysis even though you don't have the business analyst title. I say it all the time, and you're another great example of that in practice. So fun in learning and business analysis. Just tell us what is that and what's that all about?
Yeah, it's just about having fun with learning. You know how the brain works, that you associate this with that and it sticks more. Like, okay, let me draw, like now I can draw like a project and management. And I'm like, what is that? I can ask someone and say, the person like, oh, that's project management. And it's fun because you create things. Like I have a page, Fun and Learning with BA, where I come up with different puzzles, where I come up with do you knows. So just things that, not from just general BA knowledge, things that you don't even know about from Babok. So just extensive knowledge, and you're having fun doing it. I had fun creating my puzzles because I learned so many things that were not just business analysis, not just Babok related. They were things that, like, if you put your mind to it, you can be a SME, like a subject matter expert in it. So I just discovered my love for creating puzzles, and people seem to enjoy it because I think I had a blog then, but I stopped, where I used to put up puzzles for people to, like, I can ask, what is the requirement? I put like 11 down. So, your regular crossword puzzles where you input things, and yeah, so that's what it was. I can just say, what is the second level of Maslow's Maslow's hierarchy of needs? So just things that will make them stick in your head, like, remember that. but not like, okay, I'm reading my Bible. I'm reading my Bible. But you're having fun and you're learning. That I think that for me, that's the best way for me to learn. That's the best way for me to learn for me. I don't know for you. How do you learn? How do you learn, Daniel?
Do you know what? I think I would say I like to learn in problem solving ways, but also visually. And I think that's what puzzles do if you really think about them. So, it's kind of like this idea of you're not just kind of being given information and just, storing it in your mind. You're almost unpacking it and looking for it,
Yes,
and then when you find it, you
yes.
remember the journey that you took to look for it and find it.
So like,
But certainly the
yes.
visual element of it helps as well. I think, do you know what? I think this kind of goes back to like learning with our hands almost as well. Because I know fair enough we're using a pen and paper or whatever, but it's like you're not just kind of listening, you're literally doing something with your hands. Learning by doing, exactly. And you're kind of playing this game. And I think the gamification of it certainly makes it so interesting. But I'm yet to do a business analysis puzzle. So so I'll let you know how I would
you should check mine out.
I should check yours out. I really should. You're so right there. Because I think
it started. Let me show you how it started.
Okay.
This is how I started with it. I just came up with something like, let's call this a prototype. And it became something like this.
Wow.
So I was reading, I was like, I'm bored. I don't want to stop reading, but I still want to be learning. So that's how I came up with this. So it's just I don't know. I had fun doing it though.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's great. So I mentioned earlier that you wrote an article at the IIBA, and in that article, this is something that you wrote which stood out to me. You said, "In my career, I've uncovered a fascinating world where game playing helps you master business analysis." I mean, that is powerful. Can you just kind of give us more detail around what that means and what that looks like?
Okay. I think I'll use collaborative games as an example. We have that in Babok where you get you can create it in your own way to personalize it to your team, because the same method will not work across board. So you can make it in a way that this team A, this team B, and there's a competition for prototype creating. So you're going to say that whoever wins this prototype competition gets the team of the month. I think that was what we did in my previous place of work. So people were always excited to, like, my team is winning this. There's no bad blood. It was just that you wanted your team to win. And while we're doing that, we're getting creative. We're looking for other ways to, because, we just don't have 50 techniques, even though Babok lists 50 techniques. So just found different ways of learning, found different ways of making things work. Like, oh, this is not the regular way. You're thinking out of the box. You're creating ideas. Your Tableau charts are looking different from the regular ones. And that's why I love something like FigJam. You know FigJam, right? The collaborative tool from Figma.
No, I don't know that one.
FigJam. Oh, FigJam. Oh, FigJam is so fun. It's so fun. You can chat with people. You can sketch. It's just so nice. So you discover so many tools because you're trying to be different in a good way. So that is what I have discovered so far in my business analyst journey. I just started discovering things, learning things in a different way, just not the way that everybody has been doing it. So I just try to be different so that at least I'll know, oh, I'm not just the regular business analyst. And I've found out that having fun while doing it helps. Because I'm not going to lie, during my certification exams, some of the questions, I remembered them from my puzzles. I'm like, this is what I did for this. And yeah, so having fun, you tend to relax, you tend to absorb more, you tend to just be happy. You're looking for what's going to work. You're not like, oh God, I'm going to work today. Because you know that there's something different that can happen at work. There could be a leaderboard, there could be just anything. So that's I keep telling people that you're not playing around, you're not goofing around when you say game playing. whatever you're doing is related to business analysis. It's not, oh, you're playing a snake and ladders. Oh, well and good. There's nothing wrong with snake and ladders, but you're doing games that are related to business analysis. That's just my point. So when people hear gameplay, think of, oh, you're just playing around. And no, you're learning about business analysis, but you're learning in a relaxed environment. So yeah, that's just what I think about the soft side of business analysis.
Yeah, do you know what? I loved it. It's kind of it's such a fresh approach and a fresh perspective.
Yeah,
because I do think the world of projects can be serious, can't it? Like things can be always,
it can be, yeah,
suit and tie kind of
sometimes
feel.
unnecessarily serious. Sometimes
Yeah,
you don't really need to be that stiff before you get the job done. People can actually relax and still get the job done. Yeah.
yeah,
Opinion.
definitely. So with that kind of approach, then someone who listens to this and kind of thinking, okay, this does sound fun, but what are the benefits? So what are the things that this does or brings into my work other than have fun? Like what kind of things have you seen come to light when you've approached business analysis with this gamification mindset and kind of thinking that let's make this a fun journey? Like what kind of benefits have you seen come to light?
Yeah, I think it's improved collaboration. At least in my team, it's improved collaboration. People tend to think more outside of the box. They bring more ideas because once you hear this person's idea, it might trigger your own creative thinking as well. And you're like, okay, you thought about this like this. What about this way? Do you get? And you get people reading more because now you're going to go and look up picture because I've mentioned it in my book, but you come across. I didn't know Scrum of Scrums when I was doing my exams then, but I've come across Scrum of Scrums because of this puzzle. So you tend to learn more, you tend to research, you tend to expand your horizons. You're not just fixated on this point. You're looking different ways of, okay, there's more to business analysis than just what's known so far. So that's why collaboration, you're more relaxed. And there's something about staff retention too. So if your staff enjoy coming to work, working on your projects, it's not fun because you're working, you're producing the projects, you're doing the work, but you're relaxed. You're enjoying yourself, you're not dreading going to work, and you're learning. And you're able to work with your colleagues and do things that have not been done before. You're creating things. You're just best business analyst you can be because you're more creative. You're thinking of other things that you can offer. You can't just this is how it's always been done. This is how I'm going to do it. So we need to evolve to thinking, there's just one way to do something. So I think adding other aspects that you don't think is the right way of doing things can help. That's my humble opinion, though.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think that's really great. On that first one about increasing and improving collaboration with teams, do you have any tips or advice on how to get them as excited about it, or to get them to kind of join you on it? Because I think back to business analysis, we do workshops, for example, and workshops are one of the areas that I've tried to gamify it and introduce different things to make them think differently, but half the battle is getting them on board as well, not just coming up with the idea. So do you have any tips on just as you're approaching kind of business analysis and trying to do things a little bit differently, trying to do things with this edge of fun and excitement, how do you then also spread that across the team and get them as equally not just excited about it, but really engaged with approaching the thing that you're saying to approach in the way that you're saying to approach it?
Yeah, I think you have to know your crowd. We're all different. Some just enjoy the solving puzzles. Some you don't even have to ask them before they get involved. And the others, you have to make them see why, the reason why, what they're going to gain from it. Because some people feel like they need to gain something before they do something extra. So intrinsic, extrinsic motivation. It doesn't have to be either or, it could be both. So that's how I would do it in my workplace. We make them see why this will be of benefit to them and to the project. So that's the main thing. You have to make them see why from their own perspective and from the company's perspective. That's the main thing. Motivation. Just have to find what that motivation is for everybody, because we're not all the same. What works for me might not work for the other person. So yeah, you have to personalize some things sometimes. That's and you should put that in the back of your mind. There's some people you can never convince. I've come to realize that.
Amen to that.
There's some people you can never convince. No matter how good the thing sounds, there are people like that.
Yeah, amen to that. I totally agree with that one.
Yeah.
So that was the first one about collaboration and things like that. You did mention Figma and kind of, the certain tools that people could potentially use as ways to kind of do this, to kind of bring this to life, especially right now. Most of us working in a hybrid environment where the chances of us as a group of stakeholders being in the same physical room is slimmer than people meeting on a Teams call or whatever. So what other tools are there that you feel really work well with trying to kind of incorporate this gamification?
I think Tableau is another good one apart from Figma and FigJam. Tableau is one I've used. I think I can only vouch for the ones I've used. I can't vouch for the others that I've not used. But Tableau, Figma, FigJam, those ones I totally recommend them. Tableau it gets your creative juices flowing. And with I mentioned FigJam, you have options of interacting with teams, not even in your organization. So if you're working with so there's a chat box where you can chat with them. It's like extra widgets. So those ones you can get it and attach to your work. So you get emojis where you can react to the project. So it's just those are the two that I work with for collaboration. Those. So I don't know. Do you have any that you've worked with?
So I would say I've tried Miro. Some people call it Miro, Miro.
Yeah.
There was another one that I briefly tried called Mural, Mural.
Mural, yeah, I think I saw that recently, but I've never tried it.
So, to be fair, those two are so similar to me. I didn't really see the benefit of using both, so I just ended up picking Miro because that's the one that people knew that I was working with.
Their names are similar.
Yeah, and the names are similar, so yeah, that doesn't do them any justice, to be honest. Lucid Chart I found is pretty good.
Lucid Chart, yeah, Lucid Chart is good. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I found this good, but I think I've found that the tool itself may be good, but what can determine what tool you use is the people you're with. So some people are like, I've never heard of that. So then rather than wasting time explaining the tool, I just end up just pulling out like a Microsoft whiteboard, just kind of, right, let's just go something plain and just keep it basic. That's fine. But let's just get through the thing that we're trying to get to, rather than me having to explain how Miro or Lucid Chart works, kind of thing, because they probably never used it. So that's what I found there. It's really about the team, the people that you're working with. So for the business analyst who's listening to you right now and thinking to themselves, you know what, this all sounds nice, but this is just not, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it works, or like, okay, I'd love to try, but I'm a bit skeptical about whether this approach, the whole gamifying, our approach works. What would you say to them? And what kind of tips would you give them if they've never done this and they're thinking, okay, I want to give it a go, but I'm a bit skeptical. What would you say?
Yeah, they should start simple. You don't have to start with something grand. Just start simple. You could start with a mini poll in your mails. You could start with I think scenarios, creating scenarios, coming up with case studies that, oh, what if we were out of this tool? What would happen? So people just coming up with ideas that, okay, without this tool, how can we adjust to this? Because I said gaming is not just about fun, but it's just a relaxed way of working. It's a relaxed way of doing your job. It's a relaxed way of just making things flow because you're collaborating with your team and you guys are interacting and bouncing ideas off each other. So you can get like, oh, okay, this scenario now, this user story. I am this person. How am I going to use this? In my use case, I'm going to come up with my own use case for this scenario. What am I going to do with this? What's yours? So comparing how you think this user is going to work with this system, you now think, oh, okay, you saw this, I didn't see this. So it's not you know I said you can use the Babok technique to gamify your work. Doesn't have to just be puzzles and all that. You can use it in your workplace, like the collaborative games. You come up with very, very fun ways of collaborating, just not the regular ways of this and that, but just fun ways that your team, you know what works for your team. So you're going to create things that your team will enjoy. You know the staff that would enjoy this part of the game, and you know the staff that, and it's always good to have a strong facilitator, because you're going to have strong characters and you're going to have weak characters where they can overshadow the lower voiced staff. So you're going to have to make it equal. Like now, it can be used as icebreakers. You can use pictograms as icebreakers, because I said there's so many tools and techniques that I didn't know about. So you could just come up with this and say, who knows what this technique is? How do you think we can use this technique? Or they've seen the picture, they're visualizing it. They can see like Fish to 5 now. It looks so good in pictogram. Fish to 5. So you're giving them a visual view of what you're talking about, so they can associate with what they're saying as, well, okay, I don't agree with this. I'm okay with this. I'm okay. Okay, I support you. I'm so in with this. I'm all in with this. Do you get just, it makes it interactive, it makes it interesting. But as I said, soft side of business analysis is not for everybody. So you have to know your team. You have to know your organization. Unfortunately, it's not for everybody. I would love that. Oh, everybody goes on the soft side of business analysis, but it's not for everybody. So you just have to adapt to your company, your team, and the project you're working on. Because of course, you get some projects where you don't even have time to relax. So you have to know when. You have to know when, and you have to be time conscious. That's it, basically.
Yeah. Do you know what? When you were talking there, you reminded me of two scenarios that I've had in the past, and I'd completely forgotten about them, actually. The first one was it was basically working with senior stakeholders, and we're kind of having this project, right? But they didn't know what they really wanted. So it was one of those really unknowns that we're trying to figure out, okay, what is it that we're trying to solve here, type of thing. And so I kind of approached it with I had a visual thing that I'd drawn up, but it was simple. It is a technique, but I just come up with a name. But basically you kind of draw a boat, if you'd like, on water, or a ship, and then you draw the anchor, so the chain coming down to the bottom of the sea, and then you kind of say, what are the things that are pushing us towards where we want to go, and what are the things that are lagging us back with this anchor thing, right? But I think that visual, somehow that visual approach to it just kind of got them thinking, differently. And they were just like, I like this. And they just started putting things like, this. And the funny thing is, they'll even start to use the language of being like, Well, this thing over here is more like our speedboat. And they start to talk like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really like I'm just like, okay, I didn't even expect that, to be honest, and I
Interaction,
didn't
yeah.
even
Yeah,
think it'd have that kind of effect, but it did. And
yeah.
so that was one occasion I can think of that actually that really did work with, and I'm talking about
Yeah.
senior stakeholders in the organization. So
Mm-hmm.
I was really happy that that happened. One resource I think is really powerful. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called game storming. Game storming.
Brainstorming.
Yeah, gamestorming.com
Okay.
is the website you can go
Okay.
to. They literally just have tons and tons of like games, really, that you can
Oh,
in different
really?
categories. They've got games for like vision building, games for problem solving, games for team building, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really, really good resource if you want some
Okay.
ideas of like
Yeah, I'll
different
get.
things you could
Yeah.
try. Check out
Yeah.
gamestorming.com.
Thanks
I
for
thought I'd throw that in there.
that. Thanks for that.
No
Yeah.
worries. So on this topic, then, just to pivot now, you have created products in business analysis that are kind of have this fun
Yeah.
element to it and this gaming idea behind them. Can you just tell us what those products are and what inspired you to create them?
So there are puzzles. There are two puzzles I created while studying for my certification. I told you that sometimes while reading, I felt like relaxing, but I still felt guilty, like I've not read enough. So I started coming up with different things. I wrote up like glossary of things that I've learned while reading. So I just started unscrambling and creating puzzles. Because it wasn't just about business analysis. I picked 20 topics. So I have relationship database management. I have financial analysis. So there were like 20 different topics that I learned more than what I should be learning for the ECBA. But it's still helping me now because what you learn, you have, you're not going to lose it. So if you see the puzzles, they're just like your normal crossword puzzles, but they have their different topics. So you know what you're looking for. Like there's some that if you just stuck with the Babak, you're never gonna know about them. So I just went out of my way to I think I've read like how many other books. I bought the Babak. There's the Babak 99 techniques. I don't know if you've seen that book. I got that. So I was just reading up different topics. I'll just find out more about agile. I'll find out more about waterfall. I'll find out more about related disciplines, project management, change management. So once if you see the problems, you see that you have different topics in there. It's just not business analysis. So if you're just interested in just business analysis, yeah, it's about everything. But it's focused on business analysis, but you have other topics, other terms that you need to know because you can come up anytime. You never know the project you're going to be on. So you can come up anytime and like, okay, I know this term. At least I have an idea. I'm not like a guru in it, but I have an idea what you're talking about. Because when you see a term you don't know, you're going to go and look it up. Like, what's this? Or a name you do not know. Like, who is this person? So I just made sure I had those things there. And I had I had like a code in it. Like, if anybody can locate, there's a name that is like common among all the puzzles. That if anybody can look at that, they should send me a message. So I loved creating it. I had fun creating it. I learned creating it. And I hope that whoever comes across the puzzle will enjoy it as much as I did creating it. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
And where can people buy your puzzle?
Okay, I self-published it on Amazon. I created all the covers. So I did the covers, I did everything by myself. So it's on the Amazon platform. You can get it. It's in English and French. So yeah, it's for my bilingual friends. You can
Love it.
have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. No, definitely. We'll put the link to your product in the show notes
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
episode. Kafilat, it has been such a fun conversation talking about the gamification of business
It has
analysis.
been. Yeah.
Yes, honestly, it's
Yeah.
been such enjoyable. I think you've actually encouraged me to revisit that fun side in me to, kind of think about I think it's easy as business analysts to fall into what you know, and okay, I'm doing process modeling, I'm doing requirement solicitation, and I know my stuff, stakeholder engagement. But actually, you encourage me to be a bit more creative in my approach a little bit and think, what else could I just do in the things that I already know to do to gamify it a little bit more, but to inject some fresh perspective and fresh approach to this, because I think all of this helps with our roles, because our roles are largely about enabling people to understand the problem and also to identify and realize the right solutions to those problems. And sometimes it requires stepping outside the box, doesn't it? Doing things a bit differently.
It does.
So that's why I was encouraged and really when I read your article, and I'm also really happy that you're here. So if people would like to connect with you even and pick your brain about gamification, or pick your ideas around what could they do in their positions and all the rest of it, where is the best place for them to connect with you?
LinkedIn. So that's where my name is. That's where LinkedIn. Kafilat, Oluwasola.
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
I will put your LinkedIn link as well in the show notes. People can connect with you on there. So, Kafilat, just as we come to a close, do you have any words of encouragement, any parting words for people who have listened to this, and how could they kind of take what you've said forward? Kind of what would you say, just now that you've heard what we've had to speak about today, take this as a first step?
Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to speak up with your own ideas. Don't be afraid to be seen as extra. That's just this. That's Give your all, but be yourself.
I love them.
For me.
Yeah, I love that. Don't be afraid to be extra. I've never heard of that one. I'm gonna definitely write that one down. I love that one so much, honestly. And my last question for you, Kafilat, is just what's been the one thing that you've really enjoyed about taking this gamification approach? What's from a personal perspective, what's one thing that you can look back and say, I'm really happy I took this approach in my profession?
I think I gained more confidence because you read more, you know more. You're able to talk better. You're confident in a crowd. You're not feeling like, oh no, I shouldn't talk. I don't know about this. But you tend to know more. You find out more. You're more inquisitive. So nobody can shut you down without good reason. You speak your truth, and that's what's the good thing about the soft side of business analysis for me.
Awesome. Yeah, love that. Well, once again, thank you for coming on to this podcast. I've really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah.